you take care of the catechumens and prepare the vast majority of them to become Orthodox Christians. So what are some things that you feel it's important for future or newer Orthodox Christians to know? Or maybe those who've been Orthodox for a while but are kind of coming alive in their faith.
There's a few things, and the catechumens hear about it almost every time we meet. The first thing is establish a consistent prayer rule. Absolutely crucial in the spiritual life to be able to pray regularly, and very often we think, and I had this mistake when I first became a Christian, it was all about quantity, being able to pray as much as possible. And often it's like deciding I'm going to run a marathon when you've sat on a couch all of your life. You just go up and do it, right? And it's not going to go well. You're going to end up having serious health issues for some time, right? You may not run. You may either never run again, or you'll spend months trying to walk before you can run, neither of which is good. So being able to operate with a rule that you can do every morning and evening, which almost always means that you're going to do a lot less than you think you can. This is like a lot of the rules that you'll see coming out of Russia nowadays with the fall of the Soviet Union. They're very short, which is good. I mean, like, for sure, if you can, I've even heard from some just saying the Our Father in the morning, which I'm not necessarily recommending. Maybe some people can handle a little more than that. But being able to pray every morning and every evening consistently is just absolutely crucial. The other thing is reading the scriptures every day is super important, which, the church is smart in that regard. Even before our age of distraction, the daily readings, the lectionary, is short. It's not that long, except for Lent. Lent's a whole different animal, but the readings are not that long. You're only spending maybe 2 minutes a day, 3 minutes a day, reading a little bit of the epistle, a little bit of the gospel. And so having that, and then spiritual reading as well, and reading from physical books. We went on a very long tangent at Catechism last week, explaining why reading from physical books is just absolutely essential. A lot of our young people are coming to the faith from the internet, almost always from YouTube. So a lot of video, audio format, which is, I'm not saying that it's evil, but it's not great. It's like the worst way from a scientific perspective, from just how people work, how our brains function. It's the worst way to receive information and to retain information. And it trains within us an inability to actually retain information, which is not helpful in the spiritual life. So reading physical books, whether it be the prayer book or having a physical Bible or reading a physical spiritual book, that's super important. And then the last thing I would say is cultivating an inner life. That's something that we really, as a culture, don't have and don't really know how to do because of social media. We have this, it's the technological manifestation of listlessness, or of idle talking. Just having to say everything that comes to our mind, the moment it comes to our mind with no thought, and just sending it out there and then wondering why we got fired or why everyone's angry at us or whatever. This ability to let thoughts grow and cultivate over days, weeks, years. The Lord himself, he spent 30 years in obscurity before he began his public life. And almost all of the saints, you look, what did they do before they preached? They spent at least a decade in the desert.
Often more. Yeah.
Often more. And just spending time reading, studying. This is something we even see with St. Paul. You kind of have this misunderstanding of him that he, had this vision of Christ on the road to Damascus, immediately started preaching. That's not true. He spent years in the desert, studying the Old Testament. He had this vision of Christ that completely went against his understanding of who the Messiah is. And so he says, okay, now I have to reread the entire Old Testament to figure out what's going on here, which he did. And then he begins to preach. But having that ability to live a private, unobserved life is super crucial in the Orthodox life.